beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Welcome back to AllStarBuzz. Thank you for joining us. Before we start, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to 10,000 subscribers. Now, let's begin. Country music icon Carrie Underwood has shaken up the entertainment world with a legal move no one saw coming in: $800 million lawsuit against The View and its co-hosts. That's right, Carrie is suing Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and others from the talk show, claiming defamation. The jaw-dropping figure and boldness of the move have set social media on fire and sparked a debate about celebrity rights, media responsibility, and the fine line between opinion and libel. It all started when the hosts made comments Carrie felt went too far, damaging her reputation and crossing into character assassination. The lawsuit isn't just massive in value, it's massive in meaning. Carrie isn't just asking for a payout, she's demanding accountability from one of the most influential daytime shows on television. For years, The View has been known for its outspoken opinions, but this time, Carrie is saying enough is enough. And while fans are split, one thing is clear: this legal battle is about to get personal, public, and possibly historic. Now let's rewind the clock and see how this all unfolded in the first place. It all traces back to a pivotal moment: Carrie Underwood's decision to perform at Donald Trump's presidential inauguration.
Carrie Underwood will take the stage at Trump's inauguration singing "America the Beautiful." She said to the Post, "I love our country and I'm honored to have been asked to sing at the inauguration and to be a small part of this historic event. I am humbled to answer the call at a time when we must all come together in the spirit of unity and looking to the future." Well, that wasn't good enough for the tolerant left, of course, who is outraged over Carrie being outed as MAGA. X is blowing up with jokes about how she should sing her hit song "Before He Cheats." Some are calling for her to be boycotted and canceled. John Rich weighed in, saying there are several top-tier country artists who support Trump, and I wish they'd finally have the balls to come forward and be counted. Ain't nothing outlaw about keeping your mouth shut to appease the record label. Carrie Underwood is making you look like a bunch of sissy boys. Carrie is talented, she is graceful, she is a class act, she has great legs, not that it matters, but she is everything that the tolerant left is not.
A choice that, for many, was simply a patriotic gesture, quickly spiraled into something far more controversial. Carrie announced she would sing "America the Beautiful," sharing in a public statement that she loved her country and felt honored to be part of what she described as a historic event. Her message emphasized unity and hope for the future, calling for Americans to come together during divisive times. But not everyone saw it that way. The internet lit up with reactions. Some applauded her courage, saying her performance was a much-needed symbol of grace and healing. But others were furious. Critics accused her of aligning with Trump's politics, calling her move a betrayal of the values they believed she stood for. Social media split in half, with hashtags flying in both directions. Praise on one side, calls for boycotts and cancellation on the other. Carrie had stepped into a political minefield, and the blast radius was much larger than anyone expected. What began as a musical performance was now a political lightning rod. And that's when The View entered the conversation, taking things to another level.
So I get why she did it.
I say.
I mean, right? And it's country music. I think at
I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't do it, even though I
You
can't
would
sing.
not sing?
No, I would not. I would not normalize him. And she says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country, in my opinion? I don't understand how you say you love your country at the same time as you normalize this convicted felon, which I can say now every day.
A lot of my family voted for Trump. They love the country and vote for him. I think that people make these decisions for a lot of reasons.
Okay, fine. And I would not be the person to say don't do it, because I believe in free speech and everything about it. I personally would not do it. No one's asked me, but that's another story.
When The View chimed in, the situation escalated fast. During their segment discussing Carrie's performance at the inauguration, co-hosts Joy Behar and Sunny Hostin didn't just critique the decision, they came in swinging. Their words weren't subtle. Joy openly questioned Carrie's patriotism, asking how someone could claim to love their country while, in her words, normalizing a convicted felon. She was referring, of course, to Donald Trump, and she made it clear she saw Carrie's involvement in the event as a form of political endorsement. Sunny Hostin backed her up, saying if she were invited to perform at the same event, she would absolutely say no. The tone was sharp, and the message was loud. In their eyes, Carrie wasn't just performing, she was supporting something they deeply opposed.
They did what they did. They felt that's what they needed to do, and I got to stand behind them.
Yeah.
You know, and I stand behind her no, not or not, because if I believe I have the right to make up my mind to go perform someplace, I believe they have the same right.
Of course.
And so I have to, I have to support. Doesn't mean I'm particularly interested in what I won't be watching, you know, but that's me.
The comments ignited even more backlash online. Supporters of Carrie called the segment an attack, not a critique. Others applauded the hosts for speaking truth to power. But amidst the shouting match on social media, one thing was clear. The View had just poured gasoline on an already burning fire. And while the world debated, Carrie Underwood stayed publicly silent. But behind the scenes, she was preparing her response, and it wasn't going to be with words. While the media storm raged on, Carrie Underwood made a calculated decision not to engage in public arguments, but to strike through legal means. Instead of responding with interviews or tweets, she quietly began working with her legal team. Then came the shock heard across the entertainment world, an $800 million defamation lawsuit filed against The View and its co-hosts. According to Carrie's legal filing, the hosts didn't simply criticize her, he made defamatory statements that crossed the line into character attack, damaging both her personal and professional reputation. The lawsuit claims their commentary went beyond protected opinion and into false and harmful territory, impacting her brand, public image, and business relationships. This wasn't just a fight over words, it became a matter of principle. Carrie made it clear that her intent was to hold media figures accountable for what they say on powerful platforms. No longer willing to be painted in a political light she never claimed, she chose to challenge the narrative in court. And that's when The View found itself in unfamiliar territory, not just at the center of controversy, but at the receiving end of a massive legal and public relations crisis. What happened next revealed just how serious things had become. As news of the lawsuit broke, panic reportedly set in behind the scenes at The View. The once confident co-hosts were now the ones under pressure, pleading with Carrie Underwood to settle the case privately. Sources close to the production say Joy Behar and Sunny Hostin began pushing for an off-the-record resolution, hoping to avoid the courtroom spotlight and the potential fallout that could come with it. Why the sudden urgency? Because this wasn't just about money, it was about credibility. If Carrie's case were to move forward, the hosts could be forced to publicly defend their words under oath, potentially exposing behind-the-scenes practices, editorial decisions, and personal biases. That kind of exposure could seriously damage their reputations and the shows. But Carrie didn't flinch. According to insiders, she's made it clear that this lawsuit isn't just about personal vindication. It's about standing up to a media culture that she believes too often hides behind opinion to spread harmful commentary. She's not just defending her name, she's drawing a line. And while Carrie holds her ground, public support starts building. Fans flood social media not just with messages of encouragement, but with an energy that transforms her legal battle into something much bigger. As the legal drama intensified, social media exploded with support for Carrie Underwood. Turning her into more than just a country music star, she became a symbol of standing up against media overreach. Hashtags like Stand with Carrie and media accountability started trending, and fans praised her for taking a bold stand when most celebrities choose to stay quiet. One viral tweet captured the mood perfectly. Carrie Underwood isn't just defending herself, she's calling out a toxic media culture. Absolute queen energy. Memes followed quickly, portraying Carrie as calm and composed, often labeled Grace Under Fire, while the co-hosts of The View were shown panicked or defensive, highlighting a clear shift in public perception. The lawsuit sparked debates far beyond the entertainment world. Commentators, podcasters, and even legal analysts weighed in on whether The View had crossed a line and what it would mean for talk shows moving forward. For many, Carrie's actions represented a growing demand for accountability in media, not just from politicians or corporations, but from the very people who shape public opinion daily. What had started as controversy over a song was quickly evolving into a national conversation on truth, influence, and where the boundaries should be drawn, and things were only getting hotter. With the internet ablaze and fans rallying behind Carrie, the pressure began to mount on The View, not just from the public. Behind the scenes, reports began surfacing that ABC executives were in full-blown damage control mode. Rumors spread that network higher-ups were urging Joy Behar and Sunny Hostin to issue public apologies to Carrie Underwood in an attempt to calm the outrage and prevent the situation from spiraling further. Insiders claim there were emergency meetings, strategy calls, and even discussions about the long-term future of the co-hosts involved. The concern wasn't just about the lawsuit, it was about the show's reputation, its advertisers, and the potential legal precedent this case could set. If a high-profile celebrity like Carrie could successfully sue for defamation over on-air commentary, it could change the rules for every live talk show moving forward. Meanwhile, the silence from other View co-hosts spoke volumes. Most notably, Whoopi Goldberg, typically vocal in defending her colleagues, was reportedly staying quiet. Some say she was trying to mediate the situation from within, while others believe she recognized just how serious the backlash had become. The storm wasn't just circling The View anymore, it had landed directly on their doorstep. As the network scrambled and tensions rose, fans turned their attention directly to Joy Behar and Sunny Hostin, demanding accountability, not just apologies. Many began calling for their removal from The View, arguing that their remarks about Carrie Underwood felt more like personal attacks than genuine political critique. Online petitions surfaced. Social media threads exploded with criticism, and longtime viewers started questioning the integrity of the show itself. What made this moment different wasn't just the backlash, it was the scale of it. Even people who weren't typically fans of Carrie rallied to her side, saying that there's a difference between disagreeing with someone's actions and publicly attacking their character. For some, this lawsuit became a tipping point in a larger frustration with what they saw as The View's pattern of overly aggressive commentary. And while Joy and Sunny faced the brunt of the backlash, Whoopi Goldberg's silence was deafening. Normally, the voice of reason or defense for her co-hosts, this time she reportedly stayed behind the scenes, trying to mediate, but it was clear even she couldn't ignore the growing storm. Carrie's stance wasn't just empowering her fans, it was igniting a broader call for change in how media platforms use their voices. And the ripple effect wasn't slowing down. Through all the noise, one thing became clear. Carrie Underwood wasn't just protecting her own name, she was sending a message to the entire media industry. Her $800 million lawsuit stood as a bold declaration that public figures, no matter how famous, deserve the right to defend themselves against damaging narratives. For years, celebrities have quietly endured misrepresentation, but Carrie decided to draw a firm line. In her eyes, The View crossed that line not just criticizing her performance, but questioning her patriotism and motives in a way that could have long-term consequences on her image and career. And in standing up to that, Carrie tapped into something to peril widespread frustration with how quickly media commentary can turn personal, how accountability often feels like an afterthought, and how rarely public figures fight back. Her case raises big questions. Should talk shows be allowed to say anything under the banner of opinion? Where is the boundary between criticism and defamation? Carrie's fight might just force networks and hosts to think twice before launching into their next hot take. And as all eyes turn to what happens next, one thing is certain: this is no longer just about a country singer. It's about a culture shift. Now, as this saga unfolds, the implications stretch far beyond Carrie Underwood or The View. This lawsuit, if it goes forward, could set a legal precedent that transforms the relationship between media platforms and public figures. It challenges long-standing assumptions about what hosts can say in the name of commentary and what happens when those words cause real harm. For The View, the stakes couldn't be higher. If a court rules in Carrie's favor, it might force talk shows to reevaluate their editorial standards and how far their discussions can go without crossing into defamation. Networks could face new legal responsibilities, and co-hosts might have to weigh their words more carefully in live settings. What was once just TV banter might now come with real-world consequences. And for Joy Behar and Sunny Hostin, their future on the show now hangs in the balance. With fan backlash, internal pressure from ABC, and a looming court battle, their roles are more uncertain than ever. Even a settlement might not be enough to restore trust with the audience. But no matter how this ends, one thing is undeniable: Carrie Underwood didn't just start a legal fight. She sparked a movement for media accountability that could echo across the entire industry. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Also, drop your thoughts in the comments. See you on the next one.